Hello, welcome back to the channel. We're those nerdy guys.
Oh,
I am
I'm
Bones.
nervous.
And with me, of course, is Nervous Logan.
I'm so nervous.
Nervous because today's video is a big one. Very big one. We are talking Attack on Titan.
What's the Japanese name for it?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I've never known how to pronounce it. Shingeki go Kyojin or something. I don't know.
Shingeki Kyojin.
Look, I'm a failed weeb.
We butchered it anyway. So yeah, basically we're going to be doing a quick rundown of all the seasons leading up to the finale that just happened as of recording right now.
2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago, yes. So we're going to do a quick recap of all of our thoughts and opinions on all the seasons so far, and then the end part will be discussing pretty much the finale of
The finale. Basically, kind of like the final two parts, but mainly the finale
Aye,
part,
yeah.
which was 1 hour and 24 minutes long.
Oh. So yeah, 2013, a little show started. Of course, I wasn't watching it day one. Logan is definitely the bigger fan. He watched it day one. So I would say you have more of a
I was 18 years
emotional
old.
and personal
Just
connection.
very emotional.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
This,
I absolutely love it and it's amazing.
yeah,
But I feel like you are definitely the bigger,
it's the anime fan in general.
in general, yes, and because obviously you watched this a lot before me. But yeah, so season one. When you first watched season one, how did you feel?
So I feel,
At the time, obviously, as well.
I remember exactly when I watched it.
Ooh.
I was searching for a new anime, and I think it was already about 12 to 13 episodes deep at this point.
All right, okay.
And I think it was IGN was talking about this show called Attack on Titan. And all I remember, it's the poster for season one. It was just, the Colossal Titan over the wall.
Ah, yeah.
I was like, okay, monsters
Piqued your
behind
interest.
the wall.
Yeah, all right.
And then I just remember when I basically binged the first 12, 13 episodes in like one night. It was
Damn.
intense. I remember watching that first episode. Right, FYI, this will be spoilers,
Of course, yes.
galore.
Spoilers for everything. All
So if you haven't
seasons.
watched Attack on Titan, just watch it. Like, it's one of the greatest shows of all time. So
yeah.
Yeah. So season one. Let's just talk about it as summarize it in general. And FYI, I want to point out that Attack on Titan is the anime that brought anime to the sort of
the
mainstream media. It was always huge
Oh, yeah.
in like worldwide, especially like English audiences, like US, UK. I know a lot of like, I think Spanish are right into anime as well. Fernando, quick summary. Fernando Torres, pretty sure, went into football because of an anime.
El Nino.
Just wanted to put it out there. Anyway, so season one, basically, all you get is there's 3 walls, humanity's on this island. They don't know it's an island at this point.
It's funny when you're talking about it, because obviously we know now.
It's so like season one is so like you don't know anything. Like it just starts off. Carter Eden, his mother gets killed by a Titan, and he watches it. It's pretty gruesome how she dies.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
it is.
It's grim. Like power, like her spine just gets cracked.
It sets the tone, really.
And the Titans are really well designed, as in like in a creepy way. But season one is definitely like a horror almost because it's the monsters behind the wall. And they're trying to break through.
Yeah, it's also
like
because of the
don't
unknown.
know anything else, and they're meant to be at the time when you're watching it. It is like humanity's like they ran away from the Titans a long time ago, lost the war against them, and then went behind the 3 walls that were built to protect them from the Titans.
Yeah,
and that's all you know. But obviously, I said island, but you don't actually find out it's an island until like season 3 or something.
Yeah, quite far down the line. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like it's so difficult now to talk about it in the sense of like. From a blind point of view, if you just guessed what season one, it's really difficult to talk about when you know like everything else now.
Yeah.
But the show centers around Eden and his 2 amigos, Mikasa Ackerman and Armin. Can I remember his second name?
Oh my
At the
god,
top
I
of my
can't
head?
remember his name.
It's really easy because Mikasa's an Ackerman and they're like the coolest characters in the show.
Do we find out she's not coming in season 1 though? We don't find that out until.
No, I'm pretty sure it is.
Do we?
Yeah. What?
I could have sworn we didn't find that out until like a good.
I've rewatched season 1
3 or
honestly
4.
like 30 times. I should know this. Are you sure?
I don't know. I'm really not sure.
You're making me question my knowledge.
I know.
So basically, Titans attack, blah blah blah. He joins the military because he wants to kill Titans, and he is a bit of an emo psychopath at the start and shouts a lot.
Basically, he wants to join the Scout Regiment, which is the part of the military, they are the ones that go out over the walls and beyond. Pretty much, I guess, try to discover if there is life or anything else beyond what they know themselves.
Yeah, their goal is to defeat the Titans. That's
Yeah.
the Scout's goal at the end of the day.
It's like one of the most dangerous,
yeah.
pretty much, positions to be in the
And
military.
then you get like the military police, which as it sounds, it's exactly what it is. They are just the military police inside the city walls.
Yeah.
And then you get the sort of main, the biggest one. What they called again? Is it like the Vanguard? No.
Oh my god, what is it called?
Commander Pixis is the command.
Yeah,
one.
but I don't know. I've only ever really remembered the Scout Regiment and the one we literally just
Military
talked about.
police.
Military police, yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember what that one's called.
Yeah, that one called. That's really annoying me now. It's kind of like the main military inside the walls, and they're the ones that like cover the walls and guard the walls. And
Really bad. I feel like we should know it.
we should know this, and I
Yeah.
can't remember it in my head.
Yeah.
You keep talking. I'm gonna find out.
Okay. So yes, basically season 1 is just a mystery gift wrapped into, how many episodes is it again?
25.
25. Ooh. Now, when I first started watching, I was quite late to this. I didn't start watching until I was very
Well, season 4,
Decent.
part 2 was done.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was very recent
Before the 2 specials, but
yeah.
yeah.
So my experience with first watching it was, I had started it first a long time ago, watched a few episodes. Not that I didn't like it or I didn't hate it. I sort of just moved on, and then eventually came back. I just absolutely binged the life.
The
Season one.
Garrison Regiment.
Garrison, is that what it's called?
It's just the
Regiment?
Garrison Regiment.
Ah, right.
They
okay.
technically count there's technically 4, but I don't. There's not 4. It says here 4, but it's not really 4. Well, the fourth one, or technically would be the first one, was the cadets, or the training.
Kid-
I don't really count
You
that as a
wouldn't really
regiment.
count them,
Whatever.
no.
But yeah, the Garrison. Nah, I never would have gone that, but continue.
Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought here right now. Basically, yeah, I was late on in terms of watching it, and part of me does regret it, but at the same time,
I did try.
I know, yes,
For
I
about
know,
10 years.
I know, but at the same time, I managed to watch it. I actually managed to avoid any spoilers at all. Like
Yeah.
from when I first started watching it, from like you said, must have been like what, season 4, special 2 or something.
Part 2.
Part 2, yeah.
We'll go into the stupid naming of the final season.
Oh, yeah, it's just confusing. But yeah, I managed to avoid like any spoilers whatsoever, which I'm also very surprised at,
Yeah,
and
considering he was all
I'm
over
glad
the
as
internet.
well. Yes, but I don't know. I feel like it was different from any other anime that I've watched. It's just
But we can talk about
uh,
basically it was Wit Studio did the first 3 seasons,
mm.
and holy shit, the animation in this show is fucking amazing.
Oh, it's amazing.
Like, and
Yeah.
the way they move about in this anime is just with the ODM gear and how they animate it when they're flying through the buildings at like 100 miles per hour, and it's just so well animated. And there's like, especially the first 3 seasons, there's like next to no CGI. It's all like drawn, and you can tell a few animators probably fucking nearly died making the show easily because it's
It's expertly
visually it is beautiful.
Yeah.
Visually, it's one of the greatest we've ever seen in terms of anime. Like, I can only think of like maybe a few more that can challenge Attack on Titan in terms of animation and quality, and that's like Demon Slayer and the Fate Stay, Fate Night, Fate Zero series. But yeah, go on.
done. How does season 1 end again?
The female Titans defeated, which is one of the badass fights, and season 1 part 2 is like one of the best parts of season 1. Is when they go outside the walls and they go to the little scout formation and then
Oh
they try to
yeah, yeah,
ambush
of
the female
course.
Titan. And
Yeah, and then she
So-
starts chasing them down.
spoiler alert, Eden's a Titan. And how many Titans are there again? Is it 9? 9. I think there's 9.
It's supposed to be the 9.
I
Yeah.
think it's 9, isn't it? I could not name it all on top of my head right now. So you get obviously the female Titan. Eden's Titan's called the Attack Titan.
That's the
Colossal, Armored, Warhammer Titan,
Warhammer.
Cart Titan.
What is the? Is it not the Jaw Titan?
Jaw
Or
Titan, yeah,
Jaw
that's the one.
yeah.
That's the one.
What is the last one?
Oh, Beast Titan.
Beast.
No, Beast Titan. I think that's all of them. I think that's all of them. I don't think we're missing any.
No, I think that is, yeah, because I'm pretty sure it is 9.
That's 8.
I swear that was 9 we just said, was it not?
Was it?
I don't know.
Roll back the video.
Yeah.
No, hold on. Attack Titan, Female Titan, Colossal Titan, Armored Titan,
Beast Titan.
Beast Titan, Cart Titan, Jaw Titan,
Jaw Titan.
Warhammer Titan.
And that's it, right?
Or is it 9?
That's what I thought. I thought it was 9. I swear we've watched this show.
Does the Founding Titan count as one?
I guess it would, because it, well,
we missing one?
I don't know. I feel
I'm
really
trying to think off
bad.
the top of my head and I can't.
I don't know. Right,
You continue talking. I'm going to search this
I was
up.
going to do that.
No, I'm going to do it.
No,
I'm
because I don't know
annoyed
what
now.
else to say. Right, okay. So, yes. My memory is quite hazy on this.
You watched it not long ago.
I know, but I can't remember what I done about 2 weeks ago. So, yes. You know what? We're just going to move on to season 2, okay? Season 2, how does that start? Because I cannot remember.
Season 2 kicks off exactly pretty much the same day as season 1 ends. When they basically there's a scene where inside the wall, remember the crack happens, and then they notice there's colossal titans inside the walls, which is obviously. And I remember when season 1 ended, the end credit scene of season 1, last episode, the crack happens, and you see a titan. And I remember at the time being like I was mind blown. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, I can't wait for season 2. And I believe it was 3 years I had to wait, potentially 4.
Well, the
I think
last
it was 3,
episode,
but close to 4.
season 1, episode 25, was aired on the 29th of September 2013. So then season 2, episode 1 was 1st of April 2017.
Fuck. See, I see. That was a long time waiting. I remember every year being like, it'll be next year. Oh, come on, it's got to be soon now. It's got to be soon now. And season 2 was 12 episodes, I think.
Season 2, yeah, 12. Oh,
I have seen a lot of this.
Yes.
Remembering names though.
Season 2, I think it was primarily like, that's when we sort of
season 2's
got more of like the Beast.
Yeah,
like obviously because that mystery like behind that, we just seen him like the end of the first season. Like
yeah, and you find out like titans, humans can control titans. Basically, they turn into them.
Yeah. So then season 2 was definitely where it ramped up big time in terms of like the storytelling, introducing new characters.
Oh, it definitely does. Yeah,
it was just insane.
Still a mystery though. You don't know much about that world. You don't know much about the world until season 3. Season 3, part 2 is when you start to like really kickstarts the world building.
Yeah, I feel like one of the things that the show does very good on is like, despite the fact that I wouldn't say it drip feeds information, right? But it gives you just enough to the point where you're so intrigued that you just want to keep watching to find out more and more. At least because I can remember that's what I was like.
Lucky. You got to binge it all.
Yeah, when I was binging season 2, after each episode, I was like, oh my god, I cannot wait to start the next episode. Like, I was just watching like a good like 4 or 5 a day, depending what it was. And it was just constant. It was like each episode was unraveling like one extra piece of like the puzzle sort of thing, and it just kept going and going.
Season 2 has one of the best episodes, and it's the Revelation. What's that episode called? Do you still have IMDb up?
The Revelation.
So basically, when Reiner, everyone in Eden's cadet corps is essentially like half of them are Titans.
Yeah, it's not called Warrior, that episode.
Is it called Warrior? I think you're right, actually. It might be called Warrior. It'll be the one. Yeah, it's called Warrior because that's the scene when they change.
That was such a.
That's one of the big. Oh, by the way, we haven't spoken about it. The music in this fucking show.
Oh my
is
god,
stellar. 10 out of 10. It is fucking incredible. And when the episode, The Warrior, episode 6, is it? Episode 6 of season 2 is one of the best episodes in the entire show. One of the best episodes I've ever seen in anime shows. Yeah, the Revelation is so like out. It's so left wing. It just comes out of the blue.
Oh yeah, and like you do not expect.
And
it
Reiner is just like he just like snaps and like basically tells Eden that he's the armored titan, and he was like, "Oh, Bertolt's the colossal," and obviously them two are responsible for his mother dying, blah blah blah. And then it has one of the most the music choice and the transformation and just everything about it was just like it was perfect from like a directing point of view. Oh, yeah. You could just see how fucking good this was. I remember getting goosebumps. I remember when I first watched it. I think I rewatched it straight away after it ended. I was like, I need to watch that. I've rewatched the episode like countless times. It's so fucking good.
I see like another thing what the show does well, like because one of the details I can remember right now on top of my head,
gory as hell
in relation to that
this show.
Obviously when we find that out, there's other tidbits that you notice, like you know the episode where Bertolt and Reinhardt and that other girl that's like the Titan, but the smaller
Emir.
Titan.
Emir, we didn't see that one.
On top of like that little tower.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's creepy as fuck.
Aye, see like a detail in that I didn't notice.
Is that when he's reading the food?
No, it's when they're on top and they think that they're gonna die. But then like, I remember someone comes
I
to
know
save
you're
them,
talking about when
and like you see Bertolt go to like bite his hand. This is obviously before this revelation of them being the colossal on the armor Titan.
Is genius from the show and the author. It's
like little things like that.
Once you finish the show, you can go back and watch and be like, oh my god, it's like it was in front of our faces the entire time.
Yeah, but like you would never have thought.
I would never have seen that if I didn't see that online. I would never. I've watched season 2 countless times. Never would have noticed that. It's an
insane detail to find out.
I would never have noticed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so season 1's like a hodder almost. survival sort of horror. Season 2 is more when Revelations start coming out.
Yeah.
Season 3 turns into a political anime. I fucking loved it. And season 3 has one of the best moments for Levi, who's, I'm going to guess, is your favorite character in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So season 3, I remember how it starts.
Season 3, we're back to 22 episodes. And the first episode is called Smoke Signal.
So that's the bit when Kenny arrives. And they're kind of like, Kenny!
Oh, right, yeah.
That's the best. That's a class, that bit. I fucking love that bit. And then the animation that comes after that.
Yeah, I mean, isn't this the season where we kind of learn a bit more about Levi's backstory more than anything?
Yeah, you learn a lot about Levi and the Ackermans and just how they're like super soldiers, basically. They're like bred to be like warriors.
Kind of explains it. Levi is just like the difference between him and everyone else in the Scout Regiment.
Yeah, Levi could take on like 3 of the human-controlled Titans by himself.
Wait till we get to the end.
Yeah, but like
there's so many moments where Levi.
He has the ODM scene I'm talking about when he goes through the city. He's getting chased by.
He's getting chased by Kenny and like his gang.
Other humans, basically. And it's about it's a whole political thing. We won't go too deep into that because this is where we could sit here and talk for hours. But we're not going to do that. We're just kind of speed going through this and
try to do like brief like, descriptions.
Yeah, but if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. The bit when he's flying for the city and he's getting chased and the animation. Oh my fucking god! I read somewhere where it was like apparently 3 or 4 animators and it took them 6 months to do that. And it was like it must have been like experts in the industry to do that scene because it's an eyegasm. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think it's even
like I drool when I see that.
I think people forget about that kind of thing, like that animation that takes like such a long time.
Oh, a long time. Westerners don't do it at all.
Yeah.
That style that takes way too long. A lot of Western anime is just half hours, half the time in there. So, that turns into a big political storm. And you find about the king of that island, and I'm just gonna say island because it's a fucking island, right?
Basically,
I'm just gonna say island for now. The king of that island, of the people there, and you find like there's fucking tons of twists in the show as well.
Season 3, I think, is where the story
really kicks off.
Like really
kicks off.
Like a lot of big major plot details and like
you learn a lot.
Yeah,
you learn a lot about the first part, and then the second part is basically taking back the first wall
that was lost in the first season.
Basically, the first episode, essentially.
Pretty much.
And that season 3 part 2 is probably one of my best favorite seasons I've ever seen in an anime ever, hands down. Like it's so fucking incredible. Basically, it's the Beast Titan, Armor Titan, Colossal Titan against the Scout. What's left of the Scout Regiment because a lot of them have been decimated by this point, killed and butchered and gone as well else. And it has my favorite character, Commander Irwin. Has the greatest scene I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, so that
the death speech.
Episode 16, titled "Perfect Game."
Chills. I'm just thinking about it.
Basically, it's a brief description of what's going on. It's the Scout Regiment were going to take back the city. They thought they were getting the jump on the Armor Titan and the Beast Titan and all of that, and then it turns out it's actually the other way around. The Beast Titan has them surrounded between the wall and
the escape route. He's got the escape route surrounded, so they're stuck in the city.
Yeah, which leads to them just getting absolutely pretty much like decimated. Really, it's like the Beast Titan just hurling boulders at the entire Scout Regiment, or sorry, what's left of it.
What's left of them, and he's killing the horses so they can't escape and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and then brutal. Captain Irvin pretty much has to make arguably one of the coldest and biggest, and like just most motivating speeches like to his soldiers that know they're gonna die, like one way or another they're dying, but it's the speech he gives them that actually gives them the courage and
to actually go through
with pretty much just going on a suicide run.
Really. It's a straight up suicide run. It's like, horses running towards
it's
like it's essentially of if a line of guns were there and you were running towards them, that was what they were doing, and
like somehow he was convincing them to do it.
He convinced me to do it. I listen. You know what it is? Sometimes I listen to his speech and in dub and sub. But the dub actor, shout out, his dub speech is fucking incredible. I know there's in anime there's a huge like divide between if you like dub more than sub. There's like you'll just get hate from all sides. But like the dub actor for this scene was fucking incredible.
See, that's another good point.
I could hear like how much effort he put into it, and it was fucking so good. And like, see, I don't feel like going to the gym or anything. I listen to that speech and it makes me go, fuck, I need to get up. Like, I do it all the time. Every time I'm like drunk, I always sound at people. I'm like, you listening, Commander, when speech again? I'm like, yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Just screaming, my soldier's rage.
My soldier's rage. Oh, chills.
You raised a good point there. See, I know it was like you said, like there's quite a divide between people like with the dub and the sub. But see, for me personally,
that's just
I feel it probably just is. I know probably it validates it because some animes maybe aren't so good with like the dub or whatnot. But
in old days,
this show, the dub, I feel is absolutely outstanding. Like just about everyone puts in a 10 out of 10 performance.
You've got good voice actors in it as well. And
Matt
Mercer, who's been in a lot of stuff, he voices Levi and he's excellent as Levi as well. Shout out to Matt Mercer.
So cool. Yes.
He does a Critical Role. You ever watched that D&D thing?
I haven't watched it. No, but
he's like the dungeon master for that. Awesome.
Yeah, but no, you can't deny the voice actors.
Once again, in that tactical suicide charge, the key person as well is Levi. They don't get away with that, and that's where one of the greatest scenes as well comes up. Levi versus the Beast Titan.
My God,
the first one. He fucking butchers him.
Yeah. So basically, there's a quick, brief flashback where Zeke is talking to Bertolt and Reinhardt.
Bertolt.
Oh my God.
See, in Japanese, it sounds like Berturtle. If you hear it, it sounds like turtle. But then I'm like, how do you say it? Bertolt.
So basically, Zeke is getting told by them about there's one soldier that you should look out for. Like, who you should pretty much worry about. And it is Levi Ackerman. And obviously, Zeke, in his head, was like, he's sort of like, can't believe he doesn't understand that, like, there's
he's
one
like,
soldier
he
that
basically thinks he's invincible. He's like, I'm the ultimate fucking soldier.
So
as soon
as he finishes saying that in the flashback, then it cuts forward to
it's him. He looks up and he goes to hit him, and then
he notices all the Titans around him on each side are gone and dead, and so he looks to the side, and then all of a sudden he looks up and he sees like a smoke grenade or something.
I think it's just Levi. He's flying out. He's just flying out,
and he's just that fast.
He goes to swing, and he's that fast. He basically spins and cuts his whole like basically arm off, and it's the bit when he goes, huh? Like he's just, it's like his reaction. He just goes, huh?
Like because he's that fast. They didn't have time to process what was going on.
He's superhuman, Levi. He's so fucking cool, and then
he pretty much just runs away, like the Beast Titan runs away.
Yeah, but it's how he butchers him though. He's like he doesn't just like go for the. Well, we didn't mention this, but kill a Titan, you kill their nape. And obviously, you've seen the show, you know what we're talking about in a minute, but that's where the human side in the nape, the back of the neck.
Yeah.
So he's like protecting the back of his neck, and Levi's like, I don't think so. And then starts cutting his fingers off, cuts his Achilles, so he drops his knees, cuts his jaw, takes out his eyes. That's one of the first ones he does, actually. So he doesn't see. Then he tries to crystal out, but he can't do it in time. And then Levi just goes and starts like, cuts his legs off and all that, and then puts his sword into his mouth. And he's like not laughing anymore. Oh, chills.
And then I can't remember what he says, but then he says like it's rude not to answer someone.
This show is so good. Oh. But yeah, and then the Beast Titan runs away, and then he chases him like a fucking demon. There's actually a part where, remember the bit when he looks up and he's at the top of the wall?
Yes.
And his eyes are just like gone.
Eyes are just gone.
And he's got steam coming off him. And he's just like, are you a demon or something?
Like he's actually terrified
scared
of him.
Yeah.
Which no wonder.
And he was so cocky before that, the Beast Titan, because he just thought he was invincible. And then that's where you find out where they go into Eden's. Such a big say for ages talking about the fucking revelations in this show.
I know. We're trying to keep it brief as well. But it's so easy.
He finds out about the island, and there's more humans out there outside the island, and the Titans were actually military made, or not military made, but they have like
they're pretty much military.
They got like injections that can
stuff like that,
yeah. They're made from Ymir and all that sort of fluid. It's really complicated. We could sit here for a long time talking about this, and we're not going to do a very long video on it. But essentially, island people away from the island mainland, basically, they're all mainly. Let's be honest, they're bad. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. And then you find out what they're called. They're called Marlians.
The island.
And then Eden's people are called Eldians.
Eldians.
Yep. And the island is called Paradis. Paradis Island. And then that's where, because I think when they find out, the first thing they see is a picture. I remember at the time being like, picture, if you guys never seen one before, and they're like, what is this? I've never seen one before. And I was like, oh yeah, they don't have cameras on the island. They don't know what the fuck that is.
Oh yeah.
Like I was actually like, I don't understand the confusion. They're all like, huh? What is this? I'm like, it's a fucking photo.
Yeah,
like,
I know,
they're holding a photo.
Yeah.
But like, and then they mentioned straight after, like, they're like, this is called a photo, and it was taken by a camera or digital device, that blah 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 blah. And then And then it goes right into what Eren's power actually means. Because he has the Founder's power, basically. What did they name it again? Remember in season 2? Remember what they call it? I remember they were after something in Beyond the Wall, and it was Eren. It was his power they were wanting. A name. Basically someone who can control Titans. Remember the bit when he controls the Titans?
Was it not just like the Founders?
No, there's
power?
a name. The Coordinator. The Coordinator. That sounds familiar.
The Coordinator?
Coordinator. No. Damn! What is it?
I can't remember. Let me see.
There's a name for it. They named it so. Anyway, Eren kind of has the power, not really, but he doesn't, to control the Titans. But he needs... So complicated. I don't know how to say this. He needs royal blood. He's not royal blood, but his father was married to a woman who was of royal blood of the Eldians, but she was on the mainland in Marley, and she was like a prisoner. And FYI, Marley are like Nazi Germany. They label
basically
Eldians with gold stars, essentially.
Yeah.
And they treat them like shit.
You can see where the creator was getting his influence from. Like, it is very
Like,
much.
I mean, technically,
like
Eden's sister, older sister, was mauled to death by dogs. Remember Zeke's sister, or like his half. So Eden's like half sister. Like, she was ripped apart in a flashback scene where you see Zeke as a child, and Eden's father is actually from that mainland island. We're just gonna stop there because basically Eden has the power to see flashbacks and see memories and whatnot, and that's a key part of the whole entire show. And then that goes right into basically a time skip in season 4.
Yeah,
I don't know how to explain this without going into a 60-minute storytelling sort of session. I don't know how to say it. Like, Eden has like almost time travel powers in a way.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit out of left field. It's not an easy thing to explain. Like, briefly.
It's so weird when you go into season 4 in the time skip. You see Marley and what they're like, and the flashbacks as well in the end of season 3.
Yeah,
where you see Marley is basically like they're in like World War I-esque technology.
Yeah, essentially.
They've got like tanks and trains and what are they called, bloops, or what are they called?
Blips.
That's it.
Blips.
What did I say?
Got some
Bloops.
bloops.
Are those bloops up there? Cousin, come see these bloops. But yes, they can fly essentially, and then they have like guns and shit. And obviously that wasn't really a thing for the Eldians. Like, they're so far behind in technology wise.
Well, very far behind, yeah.
And then you see that the mainland's actually at war, Marley, with other nations, but Marley are like the big empire, whereas the other nations are like little nations and they're trying to conquer each other. And it starts off on a war. And you meet these new characters, Gabi and Falco.
Oh,
Falco?
yeah.
Gabi.
Falco and Gabi.
Gabi.
You'll understand the hatred for Gabi if you've watched it. If you like Gabi, I don't like you.
So season 4 is really... let's say when people die. People die for this entire show.
Oh, yeah, but season 4
don't attach
is
yourself
like,
to a lot of people. Especially side characters.
Yeah, you kind of... you get heartbroken, really, especially if you like some of them.
Yeah,
and season 4 is definitely... Season 4, like, the body count just rises and rises.
Oh, yeah, by a few million. But we'll get to that. And then season 4, basically Eden's pretending to be one of them to try and steal out. He's basically after... Eden wants to consume other Titans so he gets their powers, essentially.
Yeah.
So he goes after the Warhammer Titan, who can... It's probably got the most unique power of them all.
Actually, really
she touches things and like can change the shape of anything she touches, basically.
Yeah, and then it's weird. She like cocoons herself in this sort of...
You don't see much of her.
Diamond-esque.
It's only like 2 episodes, if that. You really see her.
It's quite brief, yeah.
Yeah. And then that's when the Eldians attack Marley. And then they start like slaughtering people, and then you see like children die and all that, and then they try to make you feel bad. I didn't feel bad. I was like, you fuckers have done way worse to Eldians. How many people have you murdered? You know what I'm saying? How many people?
Yeah, it starts getting very...
Eden Yeager.
Political in a sense.
It does. You pick a side.
Oh, yeah. It definitely
your
sort
side
of like
has to be the Eldian side. I know what they try to do with it. They're like, oh, look, the Marleyans, the Eldians are the bad guys. I was like, yeah, maybe. This is like a Joel and Ellie situation again.
I ain't buying it, bro.
I'm not buying it. I'm still on Team Eldian. I'm still Team Eden. Even now, I'm Team Eden, even though he committed mass genocide against everyone.
Yeah.
We're just going to skip to the last bit. This is one of the greatest animes ever, but like I said, we could sit here for a long time trying to go over everything. It's probably things I've already skipped. I've probably skipped about 100 things.
Oh, we've skipped a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I've already skipped a lot of the memories that Eden can see. And Eden can see their memories of any Eldian. They're all connected into like this little Eldian, what's it called? The paths, I think it's called.
The paths.
The
yeah.
paths, yeah.
Aye.
So they can all connect to each other. And when Eren gets control of the Founder's power, who was the first ever Titan, was Ymir. Who was like a goddess at the time, like 2,000 years ago from the first episode. Eren eventually gets control of that power, where he can essentially control all Titans. And he can control the whole point of the whole show is him starting the rumbling, which is what the king of Eldia threatened to use if Marley ever attacked them. The king was never going to use it anyway. The whole point is Eren gets control of that. And what that is that the walls, the Titans inside the walls, become fucking his weapons, and there's thousands of them.
Yeah.
Of colossal Titans. So you're talking about 100 feet? More than 100 feet?
Oh, jeez,
200 feet maybe?
like
150?
that, yeah.
I don't know, how many feet is it actually?
I don't know. You know what? Let me see how tall they are. See if anyone has a brief or like.
Just be like,
estimation.
just Google how tall is the colossal Titan.
Yeah.
I'm going between 100 to 150. 120 feet exactly, that's what I'm going with. I'd be gutted if it's way lower than that, but they're fucking tall.
It'd help if I could fail.
My god.
Just leave me alone. I'm nervous.
Colossal Totem?
The Colossal Titan is a town of monster reaches over 60 meters in height.
I don't know.
Let me. I'll
You should just roll in feet at the end.
I'll do meters to feet.
Oh my
Let's see what it is.
He's got pressure
Right.
on him.
60 meters. 196 feet.
Oh, I was well off.
Okay, fucking hell.
I was way off. So they're very tall.
Yeah, they're very tall, and he basically has an army of them.
Yeah, thousands. Thousands.
Yeah, so basically they start their march
From
all
Eldia
the way
into
to
mainland.
the inland of what? Paradis.
From Paradis.
From Paradis
to the mainland.
to the mainland.
To Marley and all that, and he basically, his goal is to kill anyone that's not Eldian, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's bits of it when you see him crushing children, and I was like, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to make me turn against him, and it ain't working.
Oh, well, to be fair, there was a scene with the child. That
Just
got
an
me.
FYI, we've skipped this bit as well. When Eren takes over the Founders, when he wants the Founders' power and all that, a little civil war breaks out in Paradis where a lot of his ex-comrades, some of the main characters of the show, turn against him. They don't want to turn against him. They still love him and want to be his friend, want to save him. But then there's a whole faction that breaks off where it's the Jaegerists. Basically rebel soldiers and all that sort of shit. Like half the army, probably more than half. Actually, it's a lot of them actually. Probably most of them. Most of them, I think.
Basically,
Actually,
the ones that are loyal to Eren and his
basically
cause.
what could destroy Marley because they don't believe they'll be allowed to live. Which was accurate. I would have been a Jaegerist.
Oh no, I get.
And plus, Eren in season 4 goes from a whiny little bitch the first two and a half seasons to like this cool, cold, long-haired bastard, and he's tidy as well. Let's be honest. But
but yeah. So basically, in the end, after all this, I know we'll talk about those a bit more. But basically, Eren's goal is to wipe out pretty much most of humanity. He ends up wiping out about 80% of humanity, which is like it's still like a lot. It's like over like what 1.6 billion in terms of what this is. That's what I've seen anyway.
Is that what you've seen?
What I've seen, yes.
Some fans probably calculated it.
Sure. Yeah. So it's a rough guess anyway. So basically, that's his goal is to do that creates a hero villain complex.
Yeah, he does it all for peace.
In a way,
he does it all for his friends. I think that's the whole point of the show. So
the main point is that he does it to prolong his the life of his friends.
Yeah.
So that they live in peace pretty much for like the rest of their life, and like they die of old age rather than like war or whatever.
Yeah.
And of course that they don't die from being the Titan. Like the Titan curse is pretty much what 13 years.
Yeah, 13.
Is it not?
13 years. I think
Yeah. So it saves any of them.
Saves his best friend
from that. Yeah. So Armin pretty much saves Armin from dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, his basically goal is that. It's not.
You don't really find the final episode released, and you can kind of guess he's not doing it just to kill everyone. You guessed that it was something to do with his friends because there's scenes before that, like way from season 4, like part 1 or part 2, when they do flashbacks where he talks about when they're on the train. No, they're building the rails, are they? And he says something like he starts crying.
Right, yeah.
Remember they have that little soft tender moment where it's like the main cast, like Jean, Sasha, Connie.
Yeah.
Obviously Mikasa, Armin, and
Hansch?
is that the main? Oh no, she wasn't there. It was in that little car. It was like the cadet corps sort of people.
Right,
that didn't turn out to be like Annie and all that, and Reiner and shit like that. But he talks about how happy he is that they're all there and how he loves them, basically.
Yeah, because basically
and
at that point,
all of them start crying, and it's a very tender moment. And That's what you see, and then by the end of it, it's like you're just like watching. Like he does not want to just kill everyone. And he's like, oh, if you just get in my way, I'll kill you too. Sort of attitude.
Well, it's because he's trying to push them away because he knows what he has to do. In a sense, he sacrifices himself so that they can live.
And the final episode's an hour and 24 minutes
of just,
and it's called
amazing.
Attack on Titan season 4 part 3 special 2 or something like that.
Chapter 1.
Oh, it's so stupid. I really hope when they release it, just call it season 4 and just be like just call it episode 25 and 26. And yes, they're a bit longer because the one before that, the special part 1 was about an hour long, and special part 2 is an hour and 24 minutes long, and it is fucking gorgeous. The animation in this final episode is the best, and it was 10 years and like 2 months since Attack on Titan started, so that's how long it took to finish the TV show, and it was very, very emotional. I was crying at one point.
Emotions were high, and especially after obviously after you let it sunk in, and then like the next few days.
The animation, this thing is when he's got the founding power. He's in his fountain, and he can basically like spawn all the Titan controllers. Yes. So like he can spawn the Cart Titan, the Warhammer Titans,
like all
different
the
beast ones,
previous generations.
Yeah, and did you see that thing on the Cart Titan, the dog?
Yeah.
Looked like a fucking like big floppy ears and all that. You can tell a dog lover just wanted to be like, I'm gonna put this in here, see if anyone notices. Of course they would. But so it's like literally hundreds of Titans against the Scout Corps and Reiner, Annie, and that's the whole point of the show, is when enemies in season 4 unite, face the greater enemy, which is Eren, which was kind of like his end goal, kind of. Reiner and all that, the traitor, they all like put aside their differences to fight Eren, and then they all have that big fight out, and Levi gets severely nerfed in season 4, where he loses an eye.
He loses an eye, yes.
He's
most of his fingers. He only has
his left finger. He's got 2 fingers, I think. These 2 essentially. He hasn't got a thumb either.
No, he doesn't know.
Yeah, I think his other hand, he's missing like a finger or 2, but it was his left hand that was completely just knackered.
Yeah.
And he was limping a little because his foot, but his legs at that time are fine. He's going in. He is fucking shit up. We were watching. I was like, he's been nerfed, and he takes on. Remember that one scene where he takes on the Warhammer Titan, and then the Cart Titan, who's meant to have the strongest teeth and the strongest claws of all the Titans, he's like Jedi shit. He's just like deflecting it, and then he gets bit in the leg. So he basically has one leg.
Yeah, when he gets bit by that snake Titan,
still fighting.
Yeah,
and then eventually he gets crippled. Like he's full on. Like I can't do anything now.
I know.
And then he helps Gabi like snipe, and
your man still gets nerfed, right? But he's still a god. It's just that's so just what he does.
Cool, man. You can tell the author just went, I can't have him in the final battle because
he'll just do everything.
He'll just do everything. Like, none of the other characters will get to shine.
Well, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And he has the last ODM gear sort of animation where it's like, was Levi. And obviously Mikasa, but it was kind of like Levi. But zooming at 1,000 miles per hour. And it's all animated, and it's animated beautifully.
That's insane.
And then before that final battle, you don't find out until after, was Eren basically spoke to each individual in like a dream sequence.
Yeah, in a sense.
In that dream sequence, he kind of says to them all that you won't remember our conversation until after this is done. And he talks about his plan, about how he tried many different ways when he looked into the memories of the past, and he can basically time travel almost using memories.
In a sense, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's way deeper than that. It's that deep that even some bits I'm a bit like, how does that work? But he talks about with Armin essentially a breakdown. Like he tried different ways to
like countless
change the
times
future.
as well. Like,
yeah, but it
times.
always led to the same outcome. Was me here having to do this to save all you.
Because another thing, we see when he's saying that. I think honestly we looked away for like a brief second because like you were talking about something, but it's like one of the revelations is that even sacrificed his own
mother,
to save Bertolt.
It kind of hints that anyway when Bertolt was outside the wall from a previous, is it season 4 as well, when he's outside the wall, that smiling Titan, the one that kills his man, actually goes to him and then it stops and then turns. So it wasn't really a surprise of that. I was like, well, who else would have told her, the smiling Titan, not to do that?
Yeah, so basically Eren tells that Titan to leave Bertolt and go and kill his own mum because he knows, because
he needs motivation essentially.
Yeah, he needs that.
If his mum doesn't
power, to go to Armin for it to pretty much like to piece this jigsaw together in a way.
it's just a breakdown. They're in this like red sea of death. There's bits and they pick up the water. And there's like teeth and Eden kills millions of people. Like it's grim. But they shouldn't be so racist towards the Eldins. So go fuck yourself. Karma's a bitch is what I say. That little kid's like, I would die. It's like, well, fucking your fault for being born in a fucking bar. You thick. But yeah, they have that breakdown, and then he talks about it, and then it's really nice, almost like tender moment. Armin's like, basically, thank you, Eden, for what's he say? Thank you, Eden, for taking on our burden or something like that. Yeah, and he's like, oh, I'll see you again in hell if there is one, because like Armin's killed people as well. Like, like in the Colossal Time when he kills all those people in the boats in the opening of season 4, or near the opening of season 4. So like. And then they have this weird moment where they hug, but just before it looks like they're going to kiss, and it was really fucking awkward. Do you not think that?
I thought that
I'm gonna put it on the video, but like Eden's kind of like, it's basically when Armin's kind of saying, not like having a go at him, he's kind of saying like thank you almost, and it's a very tender moment between them both. Like he still like loves it. They're basically like brothers, but like there's when Eden's just like in shock that Armin's been just the things he's saying, he's not saying what Eden thinks.
What he thought he would say.
Yeah. Like he's not saying like I hate you. And
it's
why
just
did
like
you do this?
there's like that weird frame
acceptance
where
of what he did.
like,
he understood why he did it.
And
it was to save his friends.
And then when they go to hug it, there is like this weird frame. It's like the way it's animated.
It's Armin's face. It makes it fucking gay.
That makes it look
weird.
Like they're gonna kiss. For some reason, kiss.
Because Eden's like that. Like his mouth's open. He's like in shock. But then Armin's like, and I was like, are they just gonna tongue each other or like what's gonna happen? But no, they hug. They hug it out. Oh yeah, we forgot. But one of the moments in that is when he's talking about Mikasa.
Oh god.
Eden finally confessed his love.
Yeah, so I mean you kind of knew it really anyway.
He didn't hate her. Everyone knew he didn't hate her.
Yeah, that was basically part of his plan to try and push her away, to like, in a way for this whole thing to work.
But he wanted to push her away.
In a sense, he confesses his love for Mikasa and says that he doesn't want her.
He wants her to move on.
He wants her to move on.
He has a breakdown, basically.
But doesn't want her to move on.
He doesn't want her to move on. Yeah. He wants her to like be sad for 10 years and not move on for 10 years after he's gone, because he doesn't want any man to get with her. And I think some people are like, oh, why would he say that? It's crazy. Like, that's what we all would say. If you love someone that much, but you do want them to move on, which he does, and he does get that. Like,
it's like
move on, just don't.
Just not so soon.
Yeah, he's just, I want you to move on, be happy, just wait 10 years at least. Grovel for me at least at first.
Just a minimum, at least, yeah.
It's like if like your partner's like die and you go, like in comedies to get to this, where it's like, promise me you won't sleep with anyone again. The guy goes, Kevin, is it, what's his name? The Peel
Peel.
Yeah, I think it's like, he's like, what?
What?
Promise me you won't sleep with anyone again. I can't hear you. Like, what? It's like that. Like, you're like, I want you to move on, but you can't do any of that.
It's like that, but like, I really don't.
I find that was very human of him. It's a reaction that a lot of people would have. And a lot of people won't admit that. I mean, that's immature, but like, if you love someone that much and you're doing a sacrifice like this, for example, you're not going to be like, so see, like a few days after I die, you need to go out and date. Like that simply, you might say that, but you don't mean it. Let's be honest, you don't mean it. And then he has a complete breakdown, and he's like, I want to stay with her, and blah blah blah. And then he has obviously a dream sequence when he speaks to her, and there's a scene in season 4 where Eden asks her, it was like almost before he goes through with his final plan for the rumbling, that what does she think of him? Remember, they're in the tents.
But she asks like if there's, in
like,
a sense,
he's asking, is there anything here? Is there any like actual like feelings more than the fake brother sister, but they never really were, that the family thing they had going? And she like hesitates, and I think she says what he
wants.
She thinks what he wants to hear, but she obviously doesn't. She goes, "Oh, we're family." And like the memes go, "See you in the gym, brother." But instead, they didn't fucking commit mass genocide. And it's like, oh, I get it. Mikasa's a catch, so that kind of sets off the events of basically Eden takes projection to the next level and commits mass genocide against a set of people that. Basically the Nazis. Let's be honest. He fucking does. He kills the Nazis. And everyone's trying to think he's the bad guy. No. Eden was right. Yes. There are sacrifices. Yes. Children may die. But it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. That's basically what I did.
That's basically Lord
His whole goal was just so his friends live. And I thought the episode and the ending was actually like beautiful. It was fucking depressing.
Oh,
Oh,
was
it's so
so-
depressing.
it
And
was so
there's
just-
bits in it when you think Jean and Connie die, and because everyone turns into Titans.
Because
You're
they
like-
accept their death, pretty much. Like, they accept the fact that
I
they're
thought it was
gonna
quite a
be
cool
turning into
moment when the
Titans.
smoke's coming. There's a smoke coming, and then they're about to all the aliens are about to turn into Titans, and they just put their arms around each other and be like,
They just
well,
accept it.
"This is it."
Yeah.
Like I thought it was a really cool moment, like just being like brothers, basically accepting
yeah.
death. And then, obviously, the ending happens where Mikasa is the one that takes Eren's head, and then kisses it while she chops his head off. Because obviously, I think she remembers. She obviously knows they love each other. She knows they love each other, and it's heartbreaking actually. To be honest, yeah. And it's a really beautiful scene where Eren, when he
Yeah.
finally opens his eyes, probably being closed for God knows how long, doing that whole rumbling sequence,
And the first thing he sees is
is Mikasa,
Mikasa.
but she looks like depressed. Obviously, doing it. She's not angry. She's just really sad, having to decapitate him, and then that's just beautifully done. And then
It's just-
Emir's
it's-
watching
yeah.
the entire time, and it's the thing. Is Emir the one that was not controlling, guiding Mikasa to do it?
I'd seen
It's a
like
whole
speculation about that because like she almost like I feel like she wanted Mikasa to do it because it freed her.
And because they love each other, and it's to do with her love for King Fritz, but she also loved her children, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I feel like there's almost like that sort of like
And King
parallel
Fritz
between them.
was a horrible bastard to Emir. He was like the king who married Emir because of her power and wanted to make children, meet the children to have power, etc., etc.
Yeah,
He was just a cunt. He was just an evil tyrant.
pretty much. Yeah,
But she like
yeah.
loved him, but couldn't break it. I think maybe it was something to do with that. People, I need to watch it again because I will be watching the show now. Now I can binge the whole thing without having to wait.
Oh, great.
He's watching that, and then I'm pretty sure it's to do with he wanted Mikasa to do it because they love each other. And
Yeah, there's like some sort of like weird parallel connection between them, so that's why it had to be Mikasa in a sense.
I need to watch the
do it.
episode again to be fair as well. Get
Yeah.
more stuff because we've skipped so much. I don't want to go too far into it and name every bit, but then after that happens, they all get the memory back of the conversations they had with Eren in that Path's dream sequence. Because at the end of that, like I said earlier, he says to them, "You won't remember any of this conversation until after," and it hits them all at once. And then Sean's like, "You suicidal freak? How dare you tell me to live a good life?" He's like crying, obviously, and it's really emotional. And the scene when Armin sees Mikasa holding Eren's head,
Oh,
the
yes,
voice
yes,
actor
yes, yes,
was
yes, yes.
incredible.
Oh my god.
Like his screams and like howling was really powerful. Where he sees Eren's obviously dead, really, and it's just so well done. And then you get the Connie and Jean, they see Sasha who dies.
Oh god.
Obviously, she dies in season 4 because of Gabi, the bitch. Never mind. And she's just smiling, and then they're like almost obviously like teary eyed. And that's when I was like, oh, it's starting to well up now.
Oh my
But
god.
then it was Levi. He's just sitting there, fucking crippled beyond belief.
Like, he finally finished the one mission that he was left with, Captain Nervous. He
Yeah.
finally managed to finish it after all those years of like torment and waiting for it. And then, yeah, it's in that moment he sees Levi squad.
She's Levi's squad. He's all his ex comrades. He's Irvin. He sees Hanji, which we didn't talk about the episode she was in because we don't want to make this podcast too long. But it's just when he sees it, and he does the salute, the fucking Shinzo Sasaguro salute,
Yeah.
and he says it, and he does it. That's the first time he does it. He doesn't do it in the show ever. He's
And
never
it's,
done it.
it's like the first time he shows like any sort of,
Like
I
the
guess,
whole
emotion as well. Because like
emotion- oh, yeah,
tears
yeah,
run down his face. And
when a
everything.
tear runs down his face, my tear was running down my face at the same time. I was just like, fuck man.
When
this
Levi cries, we all cry.
I was
pretty much.
like, the hardest man in all of anime, nearly, apart from me, like Guts from Berserk, is crying. And then I've seen Commander Irwin, who's my favorite. Spoiler alert, he is my favorite.
Like that's when you know it's sad.
Oh, it's so fucking sad. And then obviously the show ends with Mikasa burying Eren under the tree that he always slept at, which is outside the first wall.
Yeah.
Wall Maria? That's what that is called. The
Ah,
first
yes,
wall.
Wall-
The first
yeah, Wall
wall.
Maria,
Yeah. And that's quite a key moment because in the very first episode, he wakes up like from that tree where he's buried. And he's crying as well in that, and that's all to do with the fucking memories and him going to the future and the past, and it's a fucking whole plot line. We're not going to go into it, but it's amazing. It's incredible writing, and the foreshadowing in this fucking show is insane. There's so much foreshadowing. And it's all done on
It's
purpose.
so good.
There's some where I'm
So
like,
good.
is that on purpose? But then it's like, it could be. So I'm gonna allow it.
It's one of the things where it's probably like, yeah, maybe it might not be intentional, but
Mm.
no point like overthinking it. Just sort of just go with it.
And there's a wee time skip where Mikasa's it's one of the most powerful scenes, I think, where she's basically sitting next to Eren and she's like, "Oh, the rest are coming to see you soon," and she's like, obviously, and then she starts crying because she obviously misses him, and she's like, "I want you to be here," basically. And then the bird comes, and everyone's like, "Is that a sign from Eren? Move on."
Ah, yeah.
Because the bird wraps the scarf. Because if the scarf falls, and the bird comes, wraps the scarf around her, which is what Eren did.
Yeah.
The whole point is why she wears the scarf, and it's getting emotional. I'm getting really excited just thinking about seeing my girl get upset like this.
Oh.
And then the credits hit, and then it shows you little pictures. Now, this is where the arguments that I'm seeing online. Did Mikasa marry Jean? Because Jean's dream, his dream was to marry Mikasa because he's always had a thing for her.
No. It's one of the things where I don't think you actually know unless...
You see her have kids and all that. Like, is it her kids? Probably. Like, I'm going to assume she did marry Jean. But why did he not just show the face? I think in the manga... Because you see it at a distance in the show, like a little picture, but in the manga, I think you actually see it close up. And it's like his... It just looks like him from the side on, but you don't see the face. I think he's left it open to interpretation. Like, it's up to you to decide if it's Jean or not. But she does... I think she does marry and have kids.
Yeah, I don't really want to think about that.
She does move on. Hopefully after a decade. Because Eren said not to go too fast.
As long as it's over, as long as it was 10 years.
I think it was a while because she is obviously, and she. Thing is, so like, you see that thing I sent you earlier, where someone on Twitter went, Jean and Mikasa is like Will Smith and Jada Smith,
yeah,
but like Eden's Tupac. You're just sloppy seconds, Jean. Like you always will be. Like how could you marry her knowing you were like she would never even look at you.
I mean, it's because he was there the whole time as well, and like.
You know she wanted Eren.
Just weird.
Marry
I don't know.
Poor Will Smith and Sean have similarities, little cack that he is. But, and then there was that other bit when there's another picture where you see when Mikasa gets buried, by the way, next to Eren as well, just to put
with the scarf on.
With the scarf on. But I think if you freeze frame it, she does have a ring on. But some people are like, "Oh, she's wearing white, and white means you're still a virgin," and all that sort of shit in Japan. And I was like, on the flowers, and I was like, "This is getting way too deep." I'm assuming she married. I'm assuming she married and moved on. Not moved on, but like try to live a life, not just sitting wallowing forever.
I think a lot of those details are like you said, they're open for interpretation.
And it does it on purpose. But if you pause frame it and then you see that one after she gets buried next to Eren, which is obviously depressing. Really old, by the way. Like she was like probably in her 60s, 70s or 80s. Actually, looked really, really old because wrinkly hands. You see a blonde person with a little walking stick, I think, watching them both, and someone went, "That's probably Armin. His two best friends are dead, and he's there alone now." And I was just like, it's so fucking depressing.
Like, I was beginning to recover.
I was watching it, being like, I was in depression, and then it shows you in a long time, maybe hundreds of years later, there's like skyscraper buildings on Paradis, and guess what happens? The cycle continues, hatred and war, and Paradis gets blown up to pieces, and then it ends with a kid. It's not in a picture; it's like animated. A kid with a dog. Walking through the forest and falls upon Eren's tree where he was buried, but there's a little cave in the tree, and he walks into the cave with the dog, and that's where it ends. And the cave is a symbol because that's what Ymir found her, the first ever Titan. She was getting shot by adults and then finds a tree with the little cave, and she walks into it, and that's where she finds that parasite worm thing, which I'm assuming is where all the Titan power comes from.
Yeah,
it does not explain the show what that parasite. I'm just assuming it's some sort of virus.
Well, it must be. Yeah, it must
be. Yeah, that's where the Titans come from, that little parasite thing. But it never ever goes into the show what that actually is, as far as I'm aware. I don't think anyone does. It's probably just theories. But anyway, he got his goal. His goal was not to stop war forever or anything like super noble. It was just to save his friends and make sure they live a long life of peace. And they did. They had families. But then eventually humans go to kill each other, and with the show ending with the dog and the kid walking into the cave, it's probably going to get the Founders Titan again.
Well, depending on, you don't know how that's
going. Yeah, I've seen people say it could be a different circumstance because he doesn't look like he's in danger. He's not running for his life. He's like he's like walking through the forest with his dog. So
yeah, that was...
History repeats itself, essentially. And it's quite a very bittersweet ending. Very bittersweet. Very sad. I was upset. And the ending I actually did love, though. I do love endings like that. I like feeling I want to kill myself at the end of stuff.
You'd rather that than just...
I don't want a happy ending or disappointing ending. I want this ending. and I fucking loved it. And this is one of the greatest shows of all time. And I'm not including anime. I'm like talking about like people have their Breaking Bads and of Game of Thrones.
You're talking like
obviously
any
wouldn't be
media in general.
any media in general.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan's up there, and that is just fucked. Like it's like a strong opinion that a lot of people probably share as well. This isn't like a weeb thing, like only anime nerds say this. Like people that don't watch anime at all love Attack on Titan, and it is one of the best shows ever.
No, I think
And
that's
my
a
friends,
pretty fair statement.
and the ending is beautifully done, and the animation, the music, the characters.
Basically, just go watch Attack on Titan.
Go watch Attack on Titan. Love it. Tell me how much you love it. What are your thoughts? Does Eren need to belong to Mikasa? Yes, they are lovers. They should be lovers. They should be married. They should have had a family.
Oh God. Yeah, just let us know how much you cried when it ended, because I'll never be the same. To be
And
honest.
before we end this, I want a quick 5 minutes of our favourite Attack on Titan characters. Top 5. What's your top 5? You remember?
Yeah.
I mean, mine's Erwin. Can I guess yours?
Well, like in terms of like the order.
One
and who
to
it is.
5. Yeah, 1 to 5 for you.
Yeah, go for it. Aye.
Right, well, obviously it's Levi. He's got a tattoo of
Yeah,
Levi.
obviously yes.
Mikasa?
Yes.
Number 3. Eren?
No. Not 3.
Erwin.
Yeah.
Erwin. Good. That's like he's not your top 5. I'm gonna fucking put you out that window. Eren?
Yeah, then Eren.
Armin?
See, I was thinking
Jean?
Armin, right? I don't mind Armin. He's alright.
Sasha?
But I quite like Jean. I feel like Jean.
Was Jean in your top 5?
Yeah, because I feel like, see, when you first get introduced to
No,
him,
I do
right,
like Jean, but just because
He's a bit of a-
you fucking hate him at the start.
you do, but then you actually kind of really like him at the end.
It's
Like,
because
he has
he's,
such a
he's,
redemption.
he's the most like human.
He acts
He's
like
the
he
most
doesn't
realistic.
care.
He's the most realistic character of them all.
Yeah.
He starts off wanting to be lazy and becomes this like hero and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will try and guess yours. Number
Right.
1
Well, it's obvious.
is Captain Irvin. Has to be, surely.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Erwin Smith,
then-
commander of the Scout Corps.
But then I feel like you might have gone Eren for second.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, right, okay. Mikasa?
No.
No?
Not number 2, no.
Do a Levi second.
No.
Who the fuck have you gone?
One of the best characters in the show. He's the most complex character, if that helps.
That doesn't help.
He's the most complex character probably in the show. Like in terms of like Reiner.
Right, oh, right, okay. I didn't think you would include him
I think
because...
he's like an incredible character in this show. Where you see like he's not just like he's just the underdog at the start. He didn't really belong to go on the mission to go assault Paradis Island because did we mention they're all alien? Well, doesn't matter now. They're aliens.
Oh, we're going to miss some things.
Oh yeah, like the Marlians had basically like little slaves essentially, and they were Eldians, and they would use them as soldiers, as Titan soldiers, basically. And Reiner was one of them. But like, I think when Reiner is like he has so many issues, and I fucking love that. Like he has,
Oh, yeah, no.
he's got obviously he's got the personality disorder. Well, for one,
Oh, 100%.
so he pretends to be a soldier. He actually starts to believe he's part of that soldier.
He's trying to live 2 lives, pretty much.
Yeah, and then there's obviously Bertolt is the only one that has to keep getting him out of it. Like, no, you're a warrior, and then he'd like snap in an instance and go back to the Marlian soldier. Obviously, a lot of shit happens there, but like, yeah, it's just like there's just so many parts of it. And you see like when Eden's like, "How could you do all that?" Blah blah blah, and then he's like starts like freaking out again, like crying and all that. And he's just like, I just think he's such a complex character. And there's obviously the bits, and we don't notice it in season 4. He gets really skinny. There's parts that notice that he's like jawline is starting to get more and more visible because he's losing weight because of his depression of what happened on the island.
Oh.
And like obviously he has that scene, one of the most deep and dark scenes is when he has the gun to his mouth
Oh, right,
Remember-
yeah, of course.
because he's that depressed over what happened. That's where Eden kind of understands him, like almost respects him.
He does have a he does
Eden
have
then
a
has to
redemption
do.
arc.
So Eden has to do what he did when Eden pretends to be one of them,
Yeah.
and he sees like just kids and families having a normalish life as much as
Yeah.
they can, and he's like, I understand, Ryder. I understand like why you're struggling and why you're facing the way you are. I think he's an incredible character. So much more. I can talk about Ryder for fucking hours. He's a great character. Then number 3.
Right, then it's got to be Eren.
No.
Ah, Levi?
No.
Mikasa?
Yes.
Okay. And
Mikasa
then
Aquaman.
Eren.
No.
Levi?
Yes.
Then
Yes.
Okay.
There we
Yeah.
go. I was like, you're gonna get all these apart from Reiner, I reckon.
Yeah, Reiner was a bit out of left field. But I agree with what you said. Yeah, he is actually very complex. Now I think about
He's
it.
probably the most complex character in the show.
Yeah,
Like I
feel
can't think of
like
anyone more.
He definitely has like a big redemption in the end.
Oh
Like,
yeah, 100%. Like his storylines is so good, and he's not. You can't hate him. Like he's not hateable. Even when he was bad, you couldn't
despite
hate
what he's
him.
done.
Yeah, you can't because you can tell he's like really struggling. Like he like straight up like where he has personality disorder, where he was that depressed at what he had to do. He literally created a new personality as this noble soldier that wants to fight against the Titans. And he just starts to believe it. And Bertolt literally thought he was like gone. Like he's just fucking snapped and he's never coming back. He's just not going to remember what his life was like back in Marley and his family and all that sort of shit. And his mum, who basically hated him, wanted to use him just for the extra bonus points of having a soldier, Titan soldier, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
But yeah, let us know what your top 5 is as well.
Yeah, let us know who your favourite characters are.
This was a terrible summarize of Attack on Titan. I do apologise for that, but we did have to rush through some of it and then talk about the finale.
There's a lot to talk about.
There's so much.
And try to condense it down.
I'd love
we're
to
gonna
have
miss
like
so much.
just like Attack on Titan fans just sitting around the table and talk about it for hours because I could do that. It'd be so fun. But we do not have that many people, anime fans, unfortunately, because they're all fucking losers.
We would love to hear your thoughts on, well, I guess all of it.
What do you think of the show? What do you think of the finale? Do you think it ended well? Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments.
Of course, if you want to follow us on anything, all of the links to our socials will be in the description. As always, remember to like and subscribe. That'd be great. And see you next time.
See you there.
Bye.
Bye.